Hello, Mega Dragon Butt and Spiker. How are you guys today? Wormiest Puppy, you're never here at this time. Awesome. Truly a miracle. A Christmas miracle.
So you're into skiing, dogs, and street style.
I can't stop coughing. Dude, why am I choking on oxygen?
Now there's a place where everything you're into
It's probably weed, so
Introducing Your Feed by Google.
it's not oxygen, man. Hello, Fat Jesus. And Into. Excellent. Excellento. Oh. What is your lucky number? 13? What a bummer. Weeb. Said weed. Levis, awesome. Hello. Oh my god, you guys are so hard to please.
So you're into astronomy, Stranger Things, and hip-hop. Those are all pretty different, but hey, they're all pretty great.
Somebody say
now
weebs.
There's a place where everything you're into can live together. Introducing...
If you're a season, you would be in bloom. I wish I had good reason to see you soon. No need to convince me that you're a catch. I bought my ticket, I'm so at last.
Smoke weebs.
Towards the satellite conquers all. Oh, he was a
Kitty, you have to move.
it doesn't matter. Should I believe you told a lie?
Moves to a new apartment. Okay, that. Whatever. Take your time. I smoked 12 animes, and now I'm a weeb. Okay, I gotta move the cat for safety reasons. No, go that way. My hair is just fucking up today. Dance emotes. Hello, I Stitzeless.
You said once this was true, and if it is, I don't know what to do, 'cause I'm stuck with them, and they're stuck on you.
My cat's name is Artemis. So it goes. Oh, I'm so tired.
And my eyes are cold as blue. You said once this was true. If it is, I don't know what to do, 'cause I'm stuck with them, and you're stuck
Jesus,
on
kitty.
you.
Are you not scared?
'Cause I'm stuck with them, and they're
Wow.
stuck on you. I'm stuck with them, and they're stuck on you. I'm stuck with them, and they're stuck on you.
Kitty, I'm so afraid. Oh, I don't think so. It is against the rules. Cats are such simple creatures. Hello, chat. What? Yeah, I'll let you go. Oh my god.
We build, we develop, we perfect. From role to role, from set to
I think they made it a rule because, like, I mean, it's really just kind of a waste of time.
Artists know there is magic behind the scenes.
I've been habitually rubbing asleep from my eyes. I seen the rain does not respect state lines. Why should you? And I seen dirt dry fires arise by pissing boy fountain statue. And they say electricity can travel up your piss stream. Oh, and I took a
about that time here.
Out of every woman on earth, who will I meet with? Who I spit empty threats until all that's left is a million zeros printed on a roll of ticker tape. And one last echo of the final tiny wave in my wake.
Hello, ear boy.
Will all my unused seed collect like mercury in some kind of afterlife, perhaps? Should I offer up my lax and packs of stakes and death? Whatever the will of the people shall be, Ohio and me. But am I too concerned with the burn of scrutiny? Call Chinese not run and covered like a horse before the race. Will I gain weight in later life? And when will someone swing aside against me?
'How did Columbus do nothing wrong?
Oh, I rest in peace on a freshly cleaned and steamed plush.
No fighting, guys.
In the vacant third floor of a department store. Or behind the four nails on the projection wall. In an empty convention center banquet hall. That's right, I'm like everybody else is ashamed of sleep. I lie when a phone call wakes me. Am I too concerned with the burn of scrutiny? Call Jenny's not run and covered like a horse before the race. Will I gain weight in later life? And when will someone swing aside against me?
1492, Columbus got us a day off school. Thank you, Columbus, for creating the internet. Ow, that was my shin. Columbus was a perfect human being.
Why do your lips need EOS Organic? Because you try to choose this over this.
Dig your
But
thirst.
honestly, who likes this more than this?
I'll do my best, Noor.
You make your lips feel like
It's a dangerous game. Well, that's a good point, Spiker. I wasn't sure if I was actually going to get into that or not. I don't know. I mean, I'll get into it a little bit, but it depends on how far we take it.
We could dance to this, and all I'm gonna do is make you dance. We say goodbye, I guess. I will see you around. And I will clean up my mess. And I'll never bring you down. We say goodbye, I guess. I will see you around. I will clean up my mess. And I'll never weigh you
I just work out at home and I try to eat healthy.
I could rub and over turn over your skin and pour you time how to be with. And then you move around to another town. And need to get around. You need to plug it out, need to plug it out, need to plug it out, plug it out. Never get another chance to wish. All I'm gonna do is make you dance to this. We say goodbye, I guess. I will see you around. And I will clean up my mess. And I'll never bring you down. We say goodbye, I guess. And I'll never bring you down.
Larry, please. What? What's up, Rush Jets? And hello, Shadow Ghost. My asshole looks exactly like that hoop, actual size. Could you imagine? Spagooter. My mind is blank for some reason. I feel the same way. I'm just letting the music carry me. World records, yeah. Please don't do this. Guys, my TwitchCon costume is getting finished today, and it should be shipped today or tomorrow, or like at the post office today or tomorrow. Really excited.
Watching my body when I sleep. Who will I believe in?
It's not a cosplay. It's, I mean, it's more like a dress.
Supposed to let it show when I don't even know. Don't ask me to explain. Don't ask me to explain. Besides, I'm the one who's coming out first. I really like you, but I'm just too shy. Don't ask me to
I really liked that movie.
Don't ask me to explain.
That's a good thing, right?
All of my close friends live in a big house together, buying ABC. In mind that there was trouble, don't always out. Who will be watching my body when I sleep? Who will I believe in? It's so easy to lie to myself and pretend that
Oh my. Worst telephone. Do you really think Columbus did nothing wrong or do all that hula hooping got you dizzy? Guys, I've realized I'd been hula hooping in a transcendental state for 4 hours, and that was when I realized the truth. Columbus did nothing wrong. He was just a guy. Leave him alone. Well, it's like a good thing. I really did want to read some of this history book. It's called The People's History. I just think that, like, but I was being really clever, you know, because I am. And, like, you know, I feel like when people say, oh, we should respect Columbus for being, like, a great sailor, you know, he was a good sailor, he made it places, and, you know, like, all the other things that they say to, like, justify or excuse or apologize for these people. It's like when people compliment Hitler on how he was like a great military leader. It's like he was so good at that stuff, right? It's like, so yeah. The fuck does your shirt look like a damn math board? Because I like math. Add it up. Do you have something against my fellow Italian, Columbus? Triggered. I've been impolite. I'm sorry. Don't be so indigenous. Fed Frog is one of the cool guys.
A weatherman can do no wrong, no uniform. Cut off 3 limbs with a new arm, that planet in its palm. Blow some life in your rap lungs for a second, and we take you from your normally programmed shit record. If you're in the irony, I brought the 4-4 in this place. Why can't this nice paint the art of war in your face? That psycho stimuli to get you hot, happy, and whistling. If I'm too broad, the feds are still listening.
You're flawed in the particles. I'm a fucking genuine article, and you've been repping shit marginal. Partially, I'm responsible. I'm harsh to the bono, and I'll acid wash your phono. I swagger the injury shield cloak, a flock of hummingbirds circle the same place I spoke. A green, I hollowed out dumb shells fell through the smoke. Campaign of followers running through hellish shell codes.
And the award for scummiest ninja moment of the summer goes to Mr. Slipper, Mickey the Christ in his own summer. Whose talent turned chemical imbalance to vital cash crop. While moon running into your local Ecker pharmacy mascot. Boss corpse dogs sniffing out victims for the quarter for the ropes. For the flip on a system for the WN's up the bounty hunters. Holding through your mouth the from bazookas on the Orange County shop.
$2 box cut a shark with the game. Don't fit through your cheek, you keep the change. Representative Jane, Weatherman gang. As the planet and the stars and the moons collapse, it's the skate takes out L breeze Wu-Tang and yak like in an early late winter. Good bread on the side like fish dinners. When the job is off of the dip spinach, the new left southpaw outlaws north to California. Represent men, put this in your battle armor.
Oh my god, I've seen that meme. Okay, guys, I have to go to the bathroom. My bad.
Race-proven technology developed in the harshest off-road environments. Cutting-edge manufacturing, delivering.
What a move? You mean me?
Every time.
Oh, you mean the beans.
Combined, we created an entirely new breed of tire with the performance of mud terrain and the versatility of all-terrain. The Ridge Grappler completes net a full range of truck tires.
Is it really a big deal? Okay, well, replace the individual perspective of it being just Columbus, some guy, and replace Columbus with history. Is history that important? Nah, you know. Okay, BRB. To read your opinions.
Manipulation of the truth like a hot girl for these friends. Shotty and the John, I'm like Vince to Vegas, fix them haters. 6 hoes blow me in a pimp with pistol haters. Chinatown, double door, bootleg on my shit. Cause they sell in the stores what I sell on the net. I got more juice than Beetle, little Robbie Knievel, skipped the course, Ricky Ricky late before she did a show on Diesel. Diesel, climb from the back into the booklets. I'm about to let them eaters cook like PPP in the kitchen. Look at all the death that's surrounding us. I'm jumping through my cigarette just to be down with us. From a chick to the moon, if she down to crush, digging back to the planet just to cop a pound of dust. Look at all the death that's surrounding us. He jumped into my cigarette just to be down with us. From a chick to the moon, if she down to crush, digging back to the planet just to cop a pound of dust. I dip my cigarettes in the most wicked of liquids that I be blacking out like shit, solar eclipses. Look like light switches, I'm unpredictable with it, with blunts that smell funny. The inside is vintage. I touch my brain with the effect of purple rain wet up. Pull up the shirt, let up. Friday, messed up. A report walked off illy, making me silly. Brain body toxic, now I'm 5150. As the world turns, the shirt is spinning me backwards, knocking me off axis from soaking my Dutch masters. Out of control until my eye go down. I make 2 liters a week per hydro valve. It's like dreaming with your eyes open. No one would know, but you can't control nothing, so you might go down.
Best stream ever.
Smoking ferocious, feeding anything on Look at all the death that's surrounding us. I'm jumping through my cigarette just to be down with us. From a chick to the moon, if she down to crush, digging back to the planet just to cop a pound of dust. Look at all the death that's surrounding us. He jumped into my cigarette just to be down with us. From a chick to the moon, if she down to
I have not dyed my hair. It's just the lighting. This is too deep. I'm sorry. It's the deep end of the pool. Yeah, I'd rather we just forget the dicks of history than commemorate them annually, but that's just me, right? Is that too much to ask? Other than to mention them in history class, to remind everyone, hey, this guy was a huge dick of history. Let's maybe point and laugh. Just remember it's for a shitty reason. Take the day off. Ooh, I have to wait to see Blade Runner 2049 because I'm going with a friend. I don't want this shit. Wait, is it actually a national holiday in America? Yeah, it was yesterday. Like, the post office isn't open and shit. I think it's embarrassing. I mean, we have the information. Okay, part of the, oh, wow. Wait, if I'm Native American, then do I have a right to feel oppressed? That's who the day off is for. Wow. Song request? Go ahead.
Get out the brain, but the birds are vain and pecking anything. The life of an underground rap star. You spit it, you bit it, even got your car kitted. You get this is the life of an underground rap star.
We need more holidays, honestly. New holidays, better holidays.
This is my brain on drugs. These are the drugs in my brain. I stab this shit out of cars. It's like the blood in this game. After I fucked her insane. Sex pistol got a chest to spray. The fuck you think my identity was born yesterday? Been the Prince Elite since the purple rain was in the street. I part of the projects for that CSO you see. And the beam on my gun match the drink in my glass. Such incredible hope. They on an incredible app. Liquid kids. Snake Plissken drifting in terror off. Escape New York and come back from the sheesh. Wear off. Personality pair off. Till my skin phrase. Give off for 10 days. Feel like two. Still like blue. Just the last Ferrari red. Ain't forgiving the hope for giving up sorry head. Vintage electronic and Harvey wet. Labels try to hype you up like you gon' fight boy.
Yeah. Like World Hoop Day. When do we get that day off work?
Get lots of brain, but the birds are vain and peck at any man. The life of underground rap star. You spit it, you bit it, ain't even got your car kitted. You get this is the life of an underground rap star. Travel on somebody else's dime, and can still pull out the nine. This is the life of an underground rap star. This is the life of an underground rap star. This is the life of an underground rap star. This is the life of an underground rap star. This is the life of an underground rap star. I'm an anarchist. No wait, I'm an antichrist. Couldn't find a third six of my stuff, so I used the knife, scratched it in. I'm wasting it.
Your lost bits. Oh wait, you need to give me the title and the artist, not a YouTube link. My wrist is doing a lot better. Hi Cam. I'm very indigenous. All these people keep questioning me. Woo! In 2017, by being a good person and doing nothing wrong, you're in fact doing something wrong by doing nothing and not helping others. Shame. Dr. Bo, what?
See some artifacts, show them her, the promoters down, every book in spoken word. Fuck too sick, I'm sorry, I'm trying to get my head right. Wrapped up in this coat that I started on my website. These cats in the street off TV, they all bitch. Fans on the mic on the back, they all shit. So I push cops, killers, and gangs, they call flips. Then they don't want to watch you on no, they all hits. I snap a copy of Blade, when BBD in half, slice your neck and hand to a pants for AIDS. Smart killers break off as a parent, but my pushing together like Malcolm McLaren. So keep staring, I'll keep feeding your brain flaws. I'm born again like the scam that got me in chain stores. Cage number 9 on Billboard Fuck. Now I gotta sit cool with one little Bow Wow's nuts. Long range shots with you and your man did. Mr. Hit some skinny ugly white bitch in Kansas. Scratch the eyes out right with an evil extra. Need a house on Alexa, a head from Beetle Chester. These cats on the street all keepy, they all bitch. Fans on the mic with a bat, they all shit. So I push cop killers and things, they call clips. And then I'm on the facts, you gonna know, they all hit. See these cats on the street on TV, they all bitch. Fans on the mic with a bat, they all shit. So I push cop killers and things, they call clips. And then I'm on the facts, you gonna know, they all hit. See these cats on the street on TV, they all bitch, they all bitch. Fans on the mic with a bat, they all my friends. Representatives in the building. Those that came from my life need to get in line. The suicide by cops, whatever is on. Fucked about my mind, the gun in my belt, vanish, the voice yells out. Enjoy your summer in hell. That friends and family surround me.
Okay. Oh, Quibble, what did you mean? Who's having the existential crisis and how? In this stream, there's definitely too much thinking. I know, I'm trying to slow it down, you guys, honestly. Tiny human skeletons. I've heard of those. In another few hundred years, people will be like, that Donald Trump guy was a dick. Let's tear down all the statues. Okay. So, now I think it's time. Fuck, dude. Why'd you give me a request? I want to read a book now that it's heated to a boiling point. Oh, it's okay. You know, just sit back passively and let me do things to your mind. Okay. That song request, though. Okay. Oh my god. The Chordettes? Is this the song you want? There's a couple. B? Yeah, they did. Sorry, I hope that was good enough. No one specifically is having a crisis, just making a point about how ready information is now compared to 20 years ago, say. No one would even consider tearing down statues of historical figures, dicks or not. The information wasn't there for everyone. Yeah, see, that's like, I understand that person is having like an existential crisis, and that's what you mean, like, somebody's like, what is this world that has a statue of this thing in it? Like, I don't know. But, that's actually not what I'm saying at all. Which, you know, I'm not assuming that you think that I think that directly. I just am having fun. Thank you, Cam. Like, there should never be, like, a real emergency to, like, tear down a statue. I don't know. I'm too tired. I'll hydrate. Dude, I hate this iPod so much. Spiker, shut up. My mouth is so dry. No, nobody's tearing down any statues. There were, like, a while ago, people wanted to tear down statues of Confederate leaders in the South because, like, why, you know? I mean, you don't have to, like, break them or something. You can go put them in a museum. But, like, if somebody wants to go put, like, some more modern art up, I think that should be allowed, too. But no, like, I don't even think I've ever seen a statue of Columbus. God, I regret this. I wasn't prepared.
So you're into skiing, dogs, and street style. Those are all pretty different. But hey, they're all pretty
Was
good.
anyone even
Now
like
those things
Columbus
are everything
anymore?
you two can live together.
Does anyone even think he was a good guy? Does anyone think we shouldn't think badly of him? Those are the opinions I'm looking for. Yeah. I'm playing with fire. Didn't he kill a bunch of Native Americans? Well, kids, it's time to read some scary stories. This book is A People's History of the United States, and is exactly as the title makes it sound. Known for its lively, clear prose, as well as its scholarly research, A People's History of the United States is the only volume to tell America's story from the point of view of, and in the words of, America's women, factory workers, African Americans, Native Americans, working poor, and immigrant laborers. This was written by Professor Howard Zinn. He recently died. It's just a couple years ago he died. He's a revolutionary man. Great activist. A man who did a lot with his life and wrote this big book. It's actually chapter 1. Please don't fall asleep. I need you to pay attention. That book sounds like fire. It is fire, dude. Like, honestly, you can't tell, but I'm wearing some protective materials while I hold this. And here we go, chapter 1, Columbus, the Indians, and human progress. Wow, I just like opened this for the first time in months. This is like, my tweets were on point. Columbus, the Indians, and human progress. That's exactly what I said. I was like, dude, we can celebrate a day for human progress without calling it Columbus Day. That's a nice thing. Thank you for subscribing. Did I miss another sub today? I'm sorry. I'm like so tired. You'll have to forgive me. SPF 9000. Human Progress Day. It's kind of charming. Don't you stutter? Oh, this is like so depressing. This is like literally so depressing. Not safe for life warning. Okay. I like can't even, this music isn't serious enough. Now it's like too quiet. Guys, what is wrong with me? I'm gonna get some more water. You know, everybody's gonna leave and not listen to me read, but I guess I just gotta do what I can. I wish I'd made tea. I'm having trouble. Okay, I'm back. Stop leaving. There's Talk Like a Pirate Day. Wonderful. Classical music. Let's do that. Nothing even played. No Columbus, no Laurie. That's debatable. How do you choose like the best classical music thing? Healing. Healing Mozart. What? Oh. Okay. This is alright, I think. Columbus, the Indians, and human progress. Arawak men and women, naked, tawny, and full of wonder, emerged from their villages onto the island's beaches and swam out to get a closer look at the strange big boat. When Columbus and his sailors came ashore, carrying swords, speaking oddly, the Arawaks ran to greet them, brought them food, water, gifts. He later wrote of this in his log. They brought us parrots and balls of cotton and spears and many other things, which they exchanged for the glass beads and hawk's bells. They willingly traded everything they owned. These were well built, with good bodies and handsome features. They do not bear arms, and do not know them, for I showed them a sword, and they took it by the edge and cut themselves out of ignorance. They have no iron. Their spears are made of cane. They would make fine servants. With 50 men, we could subjugate them all and make them do whatever we want." End quote. These Arawaks of the Bahama Islands were much like Indians on the mainland, who were remarkable, European observers were to say again and again, for their hospitality, their belief in sharing. These traits did not stand out in the Europe of the Renaissance, dominated as it was by the religion of popes, the government of kings, the frenzy for money that marked Western civilization, and its first messenger to the Americas, Christopher Columbus. Columbus wrote, "As soon as I arrived in the Indies on the first island which I found, I took some of the natives by force." Thank you. Thank you. For fucking shit's sake. Stop. Stop trying to tip your house. Stop. Wait, please. Baby. Please. I love you. Are you dyslexic? Am I being retarded? I don't know. Maybe I can't read right now. Okay. Columbus wrote, "As soon as I arrived in the Indies, on the first island which I found, I took some of the natives by force in order that they might learn and might give me information of whatever there is in these parts." This is a People's History of the United States, Columbus, the Indians, and Human Progress, Chapter 1. The information that Columbus wanted most was, where is the gold? He had persuaded the King and Queen of Spain to finance an expedition to the lands. The wealth, he expected, would be on the other side of the Atlantic. To the lands, the wealth he expected would be on the other side of the Atlantic, the Indies and Asia, gold and spices. I know I'm trying to be fluent, you guys. I'm tired. I don't have any cleavage, though. Hot damn. You're really annoying, dude. Okay, some of these are complexly structured sentences, and I'm not familiar with reading them, and I don't know the intent of the author before I start the sentence, so please just bear with me. I'm doing my best. 4, okay, he expected would be on the other side of the Atlantic, the Indies and Asia. Ah, I get it now, I can read it. The information that Columbus wanted most was, where's the gold? He had persuaded the King and Queen of Spain to finance an expedition to the lands he expected would be on the other side of the Atlantic, the wealth, the Indies and Asia, gold and spices. For like other informed people of his time, he knew the world was round, and he could sail west in order to get to the far east. Spain was recently unified, and one of its new modern nation-states, like France, England, and, oh, God, I am dyslexic. Should I just stop? I feel like I should just stop. Spain was recently unified, one of the new modern nation-states, like France, England, and Portugal. Its population, mostly poor peasants, worked for the nobility, who were 2% of the population and owned 95% of the lands. Just gotta slow down. Spain had tied itself to the Catholic Church, expelled all the Jews, driven out the Moors. Like other states of the modern world, Spain sought gold, which was becoming the new mark of wealth, more useful than land because it could buy anything. It's a meme. There was gold in Asia, it was thought, and certainly silks and spices, for Marco Polo and others had brought back marvelous things from their overland expeditions centuries before. Now that the Turks had conquered Constantinople and the eastern Mediterranean and controlled the land routes to Asia, a sea route was needed. Portuguese sailors were working their way around the southern tip of Africa. Spain decided to gamble on a long sail across an unknown ocean. In return for bringing back gold and spices... Dude, am I really that bad? Yeah, that was Columbus. And here we're gonna justify his actions. I think this is like a really important thing to know. Like the truth. The truth is important. Okay. But you know, you're free to do whatever you want with your time, as always. Oh shit. Choo-choo hole. Thank you. Thank you. Alright, I'll keep going though. In return for bringing back gold and spices, they promised Columbus 10% of the profits, governorship over newfound lands, and the fame that would go with the new title, Admiral of the Ocean Sea. He was a merchant's clerk from the Italian city of Genoa. Sorry for any mispronunciations. Part-time weaver, the son of a skilled weaver, and expert sailor. Spices, man, that's what I want. He set out with 3 sailing ships, the largest of which was the Santa Maria, perhaps 100 feet long and 39 crew members. Columbus would never have made it to Asia, which was thousands of miles farther away than he had calculated, imagining a smaller world. It truly is, Vern. I've been doing it for a few months now. Thank you. You know, thought Columbus was going to Israel. Thank you for subscribing, Chat Faker. Bless you. Bless you, chat. He would have been doomed by the vast expanse. Ooh, he would have been doomed by that great expanse of sea. But he was lucky. 1/4 of the way there, he came upon an unknown, uncharted land that lay between Europe and Asia, the Americas. It was early October 1492, and 33 days since he and his crew had left the Canary Islands. Deku just can't shut up. Okay. It had 33 days since he and his crew had left the Canary Islands, off the Atlantic coast of Africa. Now they saw branches and sticks floating in the water. They saw flocks of birds. These were signs of land. Then, on October 12th, a sailor called Rodrigo saw the early morning moon shining on white sands. Dude, you're like ruining my immersion. I can't even see this beach right now. The moon is glimmering off white sands. Can you fucking stop? These were signs of land. Then on October 12th, a sailor called Rodrigo saw the early morning moon shining on white sands and cried out. It was an island in the Bahamas, the Caribbean Sea. Shining on a beach of white sands. I know you guys couldn't picture it because of the noise. I feel like that would be distracting to the message of the book, though. I could probably like read like Dr. Seuss while I hula hoop or something without taking away from the story. Excuse me. Okay. The first man to sight land was supposed to get a yearly pension of 10,000 maravedis for life. But Rodrigo never got it. Columbus claimed he had seen a light the evening before. He got the reward. So approaching land, they were met by the Arawak Indians, who swam out to greet them. The Arawaks lived in village communes, had a developed agriculture of corn, yams, cassava. They could spin and weave, but they had no horses or work animals. They had no iron, but they wore tiny gold ornaments in their ears. This is A People's History of the United States. Chapter 1, Columbus, the Indians, and Human Progress. I know, immersion just like shattered. They had no iron, but they wore tiny gold ornaments in their ears. This was to have enormous consequences. It led Columbus to take some of them aboard ship as prisoners because he insisted that they guide him to the source of the gold. He then sailed to what is now Cuba, then to Hispaniola, the island which today consists of Haiti and the Dominican Republic. He's eating his like house, you know, he's like chewing on it. He won't stop. He's just like doing the thing, you know? Gold! Where is your gold? Excuse me. Where's your gold? Okay. He's really cute. What message? What's the Native American quote? Before the white man, you could go into the forest and eat what you want, laze around by the river, smoking kush, and fuck your wife before going to sleep under the stars, something like that. I've never heard of that. I mean, I'm not saying it's not real or like some kind of translation, but I've never heard. He's trimming his teeth. You know, let a man do some personal grooming, guys. Back off. Okay. The island, which today consists of Haiti and the Dominican Republic. There, bits of visible gold in the rivers and a gold mask presented to Columbus by a local Indian chief led to wild visions of gold fields. On Hispaniola, out of timbers from the Santa Maria, which had run aground, Columbus built a fort. Please. Columbus built a fort, Fort Kick-Ass, the first European military base in the Western Hemisphere. He called it Navidad, or Christmas, and left 39 crew members there with instructions to find and store the gold. He took more Indian prisoners and put them aboard his 2 remaining ships. At one part of the island, he got into a fight with Indians who refused to trade as many bows and arrows as he and his men wanted. 2 were run through with swords and bled to death, the Indians. Then the Nina and the Pinta, how do I say this? Nina and the Pinta? What? Manny panties? Can't you read Harry Potter? Maybe one day. Kristoff. I have lots of recipes for tossing salads. You know, pretty much any way you like your salad tossed, I have a recipe for it. Okay, okay, Pinta. Then the Nina and the Pinta set sail for the Azores and Spain. I'm so sorry. When the weather turned cold, the Indian prisoners began to die. Columbus's report to the court in Madrid was extravagant. He insisted he had reached Asia. It was Cuba. And an island off the coast of China, which was Hispaniola. His descriptions were part fact, part fiction. Thank you, Camboss. His descriptions were part fact, part fiction. Hispaniola is a miracle. Mountains and hills, plains and pastures are both fertile and beautiful. The harbors are unbelievably good, and there are many wide rivers of which the majority contain gold. There are many spices and great mines of gold and other metals. Flex on you, fool. Ooh, dude, don't make me ban you. Thank you, guys. Thank you. Okay, there's things going on. No? The Indians, Columbus reported, are so naive and so free with their possessions that no one who has not witnessed them would believe it. When you ask for something they have, They never say no. To the contrary, they offer to share it with anyone. He concluded his report by asking for a little help from their majesties, and in return he would bring them from his next voyage as much gold as they need and as many slaves as they ask. Welcome, welcome, Hot Dog Star. To be fair, you have to have a very high IQ to appreciate Donald Trump. You have to have a very high IQ to understand the genocide of the Native Americans, you know, and realize that without a firm grasp on, goddamn, this could turn into something beautiful here. Without a firm grasp of the economies, of fucking something about trade routes. I don't know. Okay, never mind. Without a firm understanding of trade routes, you'll never even get 2 pages into this book. Okay. Okay. And as many slaves as they ask. He was full of religious talk. Thus the eternal God, our Lord, gives victory to those who follow his way over apparent impossibilities. Because of Columbus's exaggerated report and promises, his second expedition was given 17 ships and more than 1,200 men. The aim was clear: slaves and golds. They went from island to island in the Caribbean, taking Indians as captives. But as word spread of the Europeans' intent, they found more and more empty villages. On Haiti, they found that the sailors left behind at Fort Navidad had been killed in a battle with the Indians. After they had roamed the islands in gangs looking for gold, taking women and children as slaves for sex and labor. Now from his base on Haiti, Columbus sent expedition after expedition into the interior. They found no gold fields, but had to fill up the ships returning to Spain with some kind of dividend. In the year 1495, they went on a great slave raid. Rounded up 1,500 Arawak men, women, and children, put them in pens guarded by Spaniards and dogs, then picked the 500 best specimens to load onto ships. Of those 500, 200 died en route. The rest arrived alive in Spain and were put up for sale by the archdeacon of the town, who reported that although the slaves were naked as the day they were born, they showed no more embarrassment than animals. I should say that with more wonder. They're naked as the day they were born, and they show no more embarrassment than animals. Columbus later wrote, "Let us, in the name of the Holy Trinity, go on sending all the slaves that can be sold." Yeah, it's gonna get a little, this is some scary stories for bedtime. Yeah. That's messed up. My older sister talked about this. People died of disease. Yes, Abby the fangirl. We will get to that as well. That's coming right up. But too many of the slaves died in captivity. And so Columbus, desperate to pay back dividends to those who had invested, had to make good his promise to fill the ships with gold. In the province of Cacao on Haiti, where he and his men imagined huge gold fields to exist, they ordered all persons 14 years... Oh, this breaks my heart, dude. This is hard to read. Okay. In the province on Haiti, where he and his men imagined huge gold fields to exist. God, this is like a terrible part. I can't be choking on nothing. It was smallpox. I actually read something today. Luckily, I think it was just some random person on Twitter, so I don't think they have like a shit ton of followers or influence or anything. But somebody was like, yeah, like the people coming over from the old world to the new world, like they knew enough about germs to actually have that be like a genocide. And I'm like, dude, they literally gave smallpox blankets to them. Like they gave them blankets from sick people. That you're just ignorant. But that's just one person. I don't know who they are. But yeah, so that's what happened, and they were fully aware that there was smallpox and disease in the cloth. Oh yeah, we're reading right now, but perhaps if you stick around, you'll be able to get a request in. Smallpox blankets, yeah, that's exactly what it is. Poison the savages. Okay. And so Columbus, desperate to pay back dividends to those who had invested, had to make good on his promise to fill the ships with gold. In the province on Haiti, where he and his men imagined huge gold fields to exist, they ordered all persons of 14 years or older to collect a certain quantity of gold every 3 months. When they brought it, they were given copper tokens to hang around their necks. Indians found without copper tokens had their hands cut off and bled to death. The Indians had been given an impossible task. The only gold around was bits of dust garnered from the streams. So they fled, were hunted down with dogs, and were killed. Trying to put together an army of resistance, the Arawaks faced Spaniards who had armor, muskets, swords, horses. When the Spaniards took prisoners, they hanged them or burned them to death. Among the Arawaks, mass suicides began, with cassava poison. Infants were killed to save them from the Spaniards. In 2 years, through murder, mutilation, or suicide, half of the 250,000 Indians on Haiti were dead. When it became clear that there was no gold left, the Indians were taken as slave labor on huge estates, later known as encomiendas. They were worked at a ferocious pace and died by the thousands. By the year 1515, there were perhaps 50,000 Indians left. By 1550, there were 500. A report on the year 1650 shows none of the original Arawaks or their descendants left on the island. It's like more brutal than you could have ever realized. You know, and you know that there's all these details to history, And, like, this book tried its damnedest to dig them up. Artavarks? Okay. The chief source, and on many matters the only source, of information about what happened on the islands after Columbus came is Bartolome de la Casa, who, as a young priest, participated in the conquest of Cuba. For a time, he owned a plantation on which Indian slaves worked, but he gave that up and became a vehement critic of Spanish cruelty. Las Casas transcribed Columbus's journal, and in his 50s began a multi-volume history of the Indies. In it, he describes the Indians. They're agile, he says, and can swim long distances, especially the women. They are not completely peaceful, because they do battle from time to time with other tribes, but their casualties seem small, and they fight when they are individually moved to do so, because of some grievance, not on the orders of captains or kings. It's my pet rodent here. Hey, buddy. He's making a ruckus. He wanted to make Cuba a better place. Almost every major person in history has done something horrible, either directly or indirectly. That's just a massive cop-out, my friend. Indeed, they may have perhaps done such things, perhaps. May so. Indeed. But that's beside the point, my good fellow. I'm sorry, I'm so tired. Because they are individually moved to do so, because of some grievance, not on the orders of captains or kings. Women in Indian society were treated so well as to startle the Spaniards. Las Casas describes sex relations. Are you ready, chat? Thank you, Fiesta Siesta. Marriage laws are non-existent. Men and women alike choose their mates and leave them as they please, without offense, jealousy, or anger. They multiply in great abundance. Pregnant women work to the last minute and give birth almost painlessly. Up the next day, they bathe in the river and are clean and healthy as before giving birth. If they tire of their men, they give themselves abortions with herbs that force stillbirths, covering their shameful parts with leaves or cotton cloth. Although, on the whole, Indian men and women look upon total nakedness with as much casualness as we look upon a man's head or at his hands. Silver Owl. Yeah. I mean, there's so much other bad stuff that happened, though. I'm definitely not trying to make fun of anybody when I, like, repeatedly kind of poke at points. You know, like, I just kind of, that's just how to communicate about the logic, you know? The Indians, Las Casas says, have no religion, at least no temples. They live in, and then the quote begins, large communal bell-shaped buildings, housing up to 600 people at one time, made of very strong wood made of very strong wood and roofed with palm leaves. Sorry. They prize bird feathers of various colors, beads made of fish bones, and green and white stones, with which they adorn their ears and lips. But they put no value on gold or other precious things. They lack all manner of commerce, neither buying nor selling, and rely exclusively on their natural environment for maintenance. They are extremely generous with their possessions, and by the same token, covet the possessions of their friends, and expect the same degree of liberality. Daegu, do you really have to throw such a tantrum? I've given you food. I'm reading a book to you. My family on my mom's side went to residential schools to try and beat the Indian out of them. Horrible history here in the PNW. That is quite terrible, Rent-A-Cat. People are pretty terrible. And we can keep reading about it. They're extremely generous with their possessions, and by the same token, covet the possessions of their friends, and expect the same degree of liberality. Wow. In Book 2 of his History of the Indies, Lacasse, who at first urged replacing Indians by black slaves, thinking they were stronger and would survive, but later relented when he saw the effects on blacks, tells about the treatment of the Indians by the Spaniards. It is a unique account and deserves to be quoted at length. Begin quote. Yeah, you guys got it. You know. Begin quote. Endless testimonies prove the mild and pacific temperament of the natives. But our work was to exasperate, ravage, kill, mangle, and destroy. Small wonder, then, if they tried to kill one of us now and then. The admiral, it is true, was blind as those who came after him, and he was so anxious to please the king that he committed irreparable crimes against the Indians. I don't trust anybody from fucking history, dude. They're all shady motherfuckers. I swear to God. Lacasse tells how the Spaniards grew more conceited every day, and after a while refused to walk any distance. They rode the backs of Indians if they were in a hurry, or were carried on hammocks by Indians, running in relays. In this case, they also had Indians carry large leaves to shade them from the sun, and others to fan them with goose wings. Total control led to total cruelty. The Spaniards thought nothing of knifing Indians by 10s and 20s, and of cutting slices off of them to test the sharpness of their blades. Lacasse tells how 2 of these so-called Christians met 2 Indian boys one day, each carrying a parrot. They took the parrots and for fun beheaded the boys. The Indians' attempts to defend themselves failed, and when they ran off into the hills, they were found and killed. Silicasis reports, "They suffered and died in the mines and other labors in desperate silence, knowing not a soul in the world to whom they could turn for help." He describes their work in the mines. Then, preach, tell the people, don't let them deny. Remember the horror. He describes their work in the mines. Mountains are stripped from top to bottom and bottom to top 1,000 times. They dig, split rocks, move stones, and carry dirt on their backs to wash it in the rivers, while those who wash gold stay in the water all the time with their backs bent so constantly it breaks them. And when water invades the mines, the most arduous task of all is to dry the mines by scooping up pans full of water and throwing it outside. After each 6 or 8 months' work in the mines, which was the time required of each crew to dig enough gold for melting, up to 1/3 of the men died. Is this the book used to teach history in USA high schools? No, it's not. While the men were sent many miles away to the mines, the wives remained to work the soil, forced into the excruciating job of digging and making thousands of hills for cassava plants. Thus, husbands and wives were together only once every 8 or 10 months. And when they met, they were so exhausted and depressed on both sides, they ceased to procreate. As for the newly born, they died early because their mothers, overworked and famished, had no milk to nurse them. And for this reason, while I was in Cuba, 7,000 children died in 3 months. It should be required reading. I was going to go buy another copy of this and bring it to my old high school and give it to my freshman world history teacher. Some mothers even drowned their babies from sheer desperation. In this way, husbands died in the mines, wives died at work, and children died from lack of milk. And in short time, this land, so great, so powerful and fertile, was depopulated. My eyes have seen these acts so foreign to human nature, and now I tremble as I write. Yeah. How pathetic, reading books in the 21st century. This line, though, my eyes have seen these acts so foreign to human nature, and now I tremble as I write. This music, though, come on. Can you be more serious? Thank you. Okay. When he arrived on Hispaniola in 1508, Las Casas says there were 60,000 people living on this island, including the Indians, so that from 1494 to 1508, over 3 million people had perished from war, slavery, and the mines. Who in future generations will believe this? I myself, writing it as a knowledgeable eyewitness, can hardly believe it. Thus began the history 500 years ago of the European invasion of the Indian settlements in the Americas. That beginning, when you read Las Casas, even if his figures are exaggerations, were there 3 million immigrants to begin with, as he says, or less than 1 million, as some historians have calculated, or 8 million, as others now believe? That beginning is conquest, slavery, death. When we read the history books given to children in the United States, it all starts with heroic adventure. There is no bloodshed. And Columbus Day is a celebration. It's legal. And Columbus Day is a celebration. Past the elementary and high schools, there are only occasional hints of something else. Samuel Eliot Morison, the Harvard historian, was the most distinguished writer on Columbus, the author of a multi-volume biography, and was himself a sailor who retraced Columbus's route across the Atlantic. In his popular book, Christopher Columbus, Mariner, written in 1954, he tells about the enslavement and the killing. The cruel policy initiated by Columbus and pursued by his successors resulted in complete genocide. End quote. That is on one page, buried halfway into the telling of a grand romance. In the book's last paragraph, Morison sums up his view of Columbus. He had his faults and his defects, but they were largely the defects of the qualities that made him great. His indomitable will, his superb faith in God, and in his own mission as the Christ-bearer to lands beyond the seas. His stubborn persistence, despite neglect, poverty, and discouragement. But there was no flaw, no dark side to the most outstanding and essential of all his qualities. His seamanship. Just get a little misty-eyed when I read that part about Columbus. You know, he had good qualities. Okay. But there was no flaw, no dark side to the most outstanding and essential of all his qualities, his seamanship. Yes. Okay, end quote. One can lie outright about the past, or one can omit facts, which might lead to unacceptable conclusions. Morison does neither. He refuses to lie about Columbus. He does not omit the story of mass murder. Indeed, he describes it with the harshest word available: genocide. But he does something else. He mentions the truth quickly and goes on to other things more important to him. Outright lying or quiet omission takes the risk of discovery, which, when made, might arouse the reader to rebel against the writer. To state the facts, however, and then to bury them in a mass of other information, is to say to the reader with a certain infectious calm. Yes, mass murder took place. But it's not that important. It should weigh very little in our final judgments. It should affect very little what we do in the world. It is not that the historian can avoid emphasis of some facts and not of others. This is as natural to him as to the map maker, who, in order to produce a usable drawing for practical purposes, must first flatten and distort the shape of the earth, then choose out of the bewildering mass of geographic information those things needed for the purpose of this or that particular map. What are you trying to communicate to me, buddy? Thank you to the people who are listening. Thank you very much. Hello, Call of Booty. You are here. You have arrived. The world is A-OK. Wow, you guys made me lose my place. Okay, and then choose out of the bewildering mass of geographic information those things needed for the purpose of this or that particular map. Hello, Kit Boga. We are reading A People's History of the United States. It's very depressing. I apologize in advance for ruining your evening. Maybe. Okay. My argument cannot be against selection, simplification, emphasis, which are inevitable for both cartographers and historians. But the map maker's distortion is a technical necessity for a common purpose shared by all people who need maps. The historian's distortion is more than technical. It's ideological. It is released into a world of contending interests, where any chosen emphasis supports, whether the historian means to or not, some kind of interest, whether economic or political or racial or national or sexual. Guns, germs, and steel? No, I haven't. Thanks for stopping by my stream, by the way, Kipoga. You do a great job on Twitch here. Furthermore, this ideological interest is not openly expressed in the way a map maker's technical interest is obvious. This is a Mercator projection for long-range navigation. For short range, you better use a different projection. No, it is presented as if all readers of history had a common interest, which historians serve to the best of their ability. This is not intentional deception. The historian has been trained in a society in which education and knowledge are put forward as technical problems of excellence and not as tools for contending social classes, races, or nations. It's historically accurate. That's what's controversial about it. It used to be more controversial, though. This guy has literally changed the world. Howard Zinn changed the world with this book. When was it published? $1980 is the first copyright. So this was written in the 80s. This changed the world. Although it's not taught in schools. Maybe colleges? To emphasize the heroism of Columbus and his successors as navigators and discoverers, and to de-emphasize their genocide is not a technical necessity, but an ideological choice. It serves, unwittingly, to justify what was done. My point is not that we must, in telling history, accuse, judge, condemn Columbus in absentia. It is too late for that. It would be a useless scholarly exercise in morality. But the easy acceptance of atrocities as a deplorable but necessary price to pay for progress, Hiroshima and Vietnam to save Western civilization, Kronstadt and Hungary to save socialism, nuclear proliferation to save us all. That is still with us. One reason these atrocities are still with us is that we have learned to bury them in a mass of other facts. As radioactive wastes are buried in containers in the earth, we have learned to give them exactly the same proportion of attention. Daegu. He literally flipped his fucking house. You guys see what I deal with now? He just flipped it over. But now he can't move it again. Idiot. One reason these atrocities are still with us is that we have learned to bury them in a mass of other facts, as radioactive wastes are buried in containers in the earth. We have learned to give them exactly the same proportion of attention that teachers and writers often give them in the most respectable of classrooms and textbooks. This learned sense of moral proportion, coming from the apparent objectivity of the scholar, is accepted more easily when it comes from politicians at press conferences. It is therefore more deadly. The treatment of heroes, Columbus, and their victims, the Arawaks, the quiet acceptance of conquest and murder in the name of progress, is only one aspect of a certain approach to history, in which the past is told from the point of view of governments, conquerors, diplomats, leaders. It is as if they, like Columbus, deserve universal acceptance. As if they, the founding fathers, Jackson, Lincoln, Wilson, Roosevelt, Kennedy, the leading members of Congress, the famous justices of the Supreme Court, represent the nation as a whole. The pretense is that there really is such a thing as the United States, subject to occasional conflicts and quarrels, but fundamentally a community of people with common interests. It is as if there really is a national interest represented in the Constitution, in territorial expansion, in the laws passed by Congress, the decisions of courts, the development of capitalism, the culture of education, and the mass media. Sorry I can't read chat right now. Trying to get through the first chapter here. Holy fuck. Oh, that's not gonna happen. Oh, hell no. Oh, hell no. Man. I thought we really could do some shit today. Alright, I'm gonna finish up a paragraph, and I have to, like, pee, you guys. Okay, the pretense is that there really is such a thing as the United States, subject to occasional conflicts and quarrels, but fundamentally a community of people with common interests. It is as if there really is a national interest represented in the Constitution, in territorial expansion, in the laws passed by Congress, the decisions of the courts, the development of capitalism, the culture of education, and the mass media. Sorry. History is the memory of states, wrote Henry Kissinger in his first book, A World Restored, in which he proceeded to tell the history of 19th century Europe from the viewpoint of the leaders of Austria and England, ignoring the millions who suffered from those statesmen's policies. Okay, and that's where I'm going to stop. And you guys can just, I don't know, do something. I have to go to the bathroom really bad. Freedom. Quite a conversation we're having here. I'll pick up where she left off. Okay, good job. Good job, chat. You did really well today. Here's a gold sticker. Now it's the fun part. Or not. $21, yeah. Die normies, you should already know this. Hello, Equinox. Ivanka, I fucking remember when you like followed my stream just like randomly. You are one of my earliest followers, and that's really cool. Thanks for showing up to my stream after so long. A year and 15 days. Pog champ. Don't be jealous. Aw. Thanks. I keep messing up my music. Oh, wow. Okay, I can't. I'm gonna not do this. No more iPod, you guys. iPod is fucking obsolete. Aw. I won't ever change, you guys. Except in, you know, the small improvements kind of way. Why? No. No. Cancel, please. Why do you guys watch this stream? I don't know. Nice. Nanoside. I'm really glad. Please turn on like I asked you to. Aw, thank you. Thank you guys. I'm moving. Alright. Moving fast for you. Success. Beautiful. Alright guys, finally, this is all I want to do right now.
on aging fine.
Okay, I'm glad. I get so like anxious, you know? It's like when you're like paying for your shit in line and you've got like people waiting behind you and you're counting change. It's exactly that feeling.
Just to push me in. You're off to dawn, trying to move on. Lover's gone wrong. Let go, it hurts, I know. It's time to run. Moonrise.
No, it only happens when I'm streaming.
Bury your worries and sing. We've been walking around in circles, fighting our endless battles. But really, who
You're out?
cares?
Ugh, my shorts.
Hold me up, just to push me in again. Life gets rough. Just don't keep the world on your shoulders. Up till dawn, trying to move on. Lovers gone wrong. Let go, it hurts, I know. It's
Is that all she's going to do?
time to run. Moonrise kingdom. Just bury your worries and sing.
What's with the whiteboard? I got it for my brain. It's 8:22. Excuse me. Yeah, I'm gonna move out in my living room now that my mother is going to bed. Thanks for the great advice. Because she works in the morning? break this. I don't like that. What the fuck? Stop messaging me! Oh, okay, never mind. It's like people following me. Thank you, thank you. Shit, alright, I fixed it. Thanks for following, but yeah. I don't know. No comprehendo.
Bigger doesn't mean strong.
You can't fight the fear. Yeah. I'm smooth, you guys. Ever tried hooping on a pole? No, I haven't actually. Wait, that's actually a thing. Dude. not cool. It's a poltergeist, you guys. How much was that hula hoop? It was $400. $400 and a nickel. It is actually a thing, wow. Is somebody getting made fun of for being poor? Is that what I'm seeing right now?
You can't fight my feeling. You can't fight my feeling. Oh no. All the shit I deal with. Reminds me why I'm still lit. I'm still lit. Yeah, swerving on the south side. Yeah, grew up on the east. CT and CT. Yeah, making sure my sound right. And so I never get no sleep. Working on the beach. Fucking with my old girl. And she don't think I'm any good. If I got something to show the world. Before y'all think that I go Hollywood. Yeah, spitting game like get involved. Young girl so flawless. Head like she jealous. I'm off that. Running through the states in a top hat. Yeah, they gon' hate, could've called that. Once you get on it, I'm off that. Should've been gone, my car crashed. But now I'm more alive than before. This shit ain't the same no more. 360 spin on my toe with a black XL at the show. With a bunch of young kids trying to take photos. My lord, with a long road ahead with no weed. On the play 5 days of the week. Can't wait to get home and just chill. If a dog just read the deal, it's so ill. And we battle every day, every day, every day. Fuck with anybody, say I let win with the AK. 2 to 7 be the name of the race check. She been down since I banged the basement. A no show to your after party. I don't feel like I gotta beat somebody. Been thinking too much and feeling hardly. Still the dirt bike, feeling hardly. I'm full finger type golden. One late night in October, I was limping out with my homies. Like, damn, it's time to get focused. What it gonna take to get out this a coma? Where you going late when the show all over? Made 100K just to let me a stone. Cool as I'm still blowing doja. Still on the move, Daytona. Still don't feel like a cold world. Still don't feel like a cold world. Still so that Minnesota. Hold up, young girl so appealing. She looked me right in the eye. She told me, you can't fight this feeling. So you ain't gotta try. You can't fight my feeling. You can't fight the feeling. Oh no. All the shit I deal with. Just reminds me why I'm still there. I'm still there. You can't fight the feeling.
Worst Thursday. Yeah, I have panic attacks. I don't think I've ever had a panic attack. I've gotten very, very anxious before though. You know, I get really nervous. When I was trying to read this book, I was really nervous. I was shaking at the beginning, page 1, I think. Feels good though. Yeah. Dude, what the hell? Yeah? trying to bring us down, man. I think I gotta go, you guys. I got my costume. I'm supposed to be ordering it tonight, and I've been waiting for her to text me all day, and now she texts me now. I'll do a couple more songs. We're not gonna go out in the living room. At least we exposed Columbus, though, so there's that. I'm salty as fuck, you guys. Pour the salt on it, dude. I'm not leaving the house now. It's for TwitchCon, the talent show. I have to order my dress. It's like not a real, like it's a costume for performing, and every time I say costume, people are like, oh, what are you cosplaying as? It's like, it's not a fucking costume like for Halloween. It's a dress. But it's not a dress either, because it's not a fucking ball gown. It's like the ice skater. It's called a lyrical dress. And it's easy to dance in, and I'm ordering one right now, and I have to decide whether or not I want a skirt on the back, because I wanted a skirt on the back, but now it needs to ship tomorrow. It needs to ship tomorrow, and right now she's asking me, do I need a skirt on it, and I don't really know. She's like, and if you want a skirt, what style? And I don't know. I have no idea what style of skirt. I just wanted like a small, like to cover my butt. Now I gotta think about that stuff, or just not get it, I guess. Sad face. Man, I'm gonna try and cheer up for you guys. Yeah. Yeah. Don't donate to me. Please, I'm in
Heineken is served in
Missouri.
192 countries.
I'm in Missouri. How long are you? How long are you? Don't answer that. Missouri. Yeah.
I am satisfied, hiding in our friend's apartment, only leaving once a day to buy some groceries. Daylight, I'm so absent-minded, nighttime meeting new anxiety.
It's not fun to dance in here. Do you read things other than history books? Yes. I read a lot. You can't hoop while you're sad. It's a fact. Can't hoop sad. So I gotta not be sad right now. Oh, okay.
The church is filled with losers, psycho or confused. I just want to hold the day.
I don't want to paint this. I'm so mad.
And forget. Let's
Thank you for the host. But you should say no skirt. Thanks for the host, bye. Yeah, well, sorry. Can't see her butt. What a tragedy. Alright, guys, we're moving. We're done in here. Now that I've gotten over the skirt problem. Yeah, don't tell me that. Hello, I'm Larrybug. Welcome to the Hoop Stream. We do extraordinary things here. We do things here. What's Fooly Cooly? Why do I sound like a real streamer? Oh. Wait, that's what you're supposed to do. Oops. Yes, rocking rings. Okay, that was a good one. Don't click any links. Thank you guys.
The tiger, powerful. The iguana, sleek. Put them together and you get the tiguan.
Oh, really? Okay, guys, now we can get serious. Got it? Sorry I'm so tired today. I appreciate you, chat.
Does anybody got an ever hip hop? MC at the tip top, bobbing the trip, hop with the flow, lockdown, showstopper metaphors of metropolis with all the insight of multifaceted monopolies, manipulating maniacal music monstrosities across the seas, playing deafening atrocities. But despite the cacophonic nemesis, my calligraphical words are spun gold like Rumpelstiltskin skirt twine, get winded up, stack the packs are lining up, check to the rafters after these lines come up. Then we're signing off and right along in our wagons with the canvas tops. I sit down here beneath the poetry, verbal low, wet free, yeah, priceless, adviceless, go. Sitting down here beneath the poetry, verbal low, wet free, yeah, priceless, adviceless, go. The dreadlocks were liceless, and parasites with eyes, paper cries, my demise, never ever write this. Gel, losing together to get her him too profusely offset, cause you're armed with a llama with some sense of passion. You're bashing the young cool, the young school, but you can climb back up to your dirty pedestal with your lustful drool in a cool pool, a stool with a cool straight hot stick and heated jism dripping from your disc hole. And the disco's always been lined up with fistfuls of fists, and they never ever swing to miss your kiss or face. So I will sit down here beneath the poetry, verbal low, wet free, yeah, priceless, adviceless, go. Sit down here beneath the poetry, verbal low, wet free, yeah, priceless, adviceless, go, 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 go.
Oh, can't see that. Wow.
Blues to rock to rap and rap, twisted into lackadaisical poetical tactics with absence of context and contracts, armed with mathematics, aim to catch a prophylactics, relaxes, reinterpretation of an absconding, but it's made to feel favored. Well, the flavor fades quick, no time to savor. A major recording company brainwashes and create behavior. What happened to the saviors? And I really want to know about all of the naysayers. Answer to the prayers of all the shadow players, the concussion purveyors, the lyrical conveyors. Sitting down here beneath the poetry, verbal low, wet free, yeah, priceless, adviceless, go. Sitting down here beneath the poetry, verbal low, wet free, yeah, priceless, adviceless, go, 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 go.
Shame on
Chevrolet with big bass. Your teeth from talking about how we all like taste. Be mine, baby. Spend me, you change, tis yours. Bread me down, tell me you take the very last book. Go to class, kiss my hands, it was when you could look bright and new, light and new. What is it they're fighting for? Slow it down, speed it up. Here's the cake they're fighting for. Fighting for, fighting for, fighting for, fighting
Ooh.
for.
Thank you guys for chilling today. Almost 3 hours now. Yes. I am strong.
Inhale like it's oxygen. Exhale, tiger lily out of moccasins. I'm just trying to ask you why you think they am a proxy, and you can run around and pull the strings until I stop again. Inhale like it's oxygen.
So afraid to break
Exhale,
this.
tiger lily out of moccasins. I'm just trying to ask you why you think that you're a proxy, and you can run around and pull the strings until I stop again. Think you were my leader? Park don't pay the meter. I'm a no way, no how chick for a cheater. If you got some little problems, I suggest you solve them. I tune out when you criticize about all the involvement. I get in my car, then I drive away. Then you're trying to race me all up on the freeway. 2 girls in the backseat, that's a 3-way. I don't want to talk about it, my phone ain't prepaid. Doing what we want to, hanging out the window. Full tank looking like it knows what we're into. Shaking up the toys and the gum dispensers. Every day's a struggle, every night's adventure. Let's go back to basics, let's forget the issues. Quit bitching about it and using up all the tissues. Let's just smoke some shit and we'll get some new shoes. I don't got shit to talk and I don't got shit to do. Let's just chill.
With great beauty. Here she comes walking.
Inhale like it's oxygen. Exhale, tiger lily out of moccasins. I'm just trying to ask you why you think they am a proxy. You can run around and pull the strings until I stop again. Inhale like it's oxygen. Exhale, tiger lily out of moccasins. I'm just trying to ask you why you think they am a proxy. And you can run around and pull the strings until I stop again.
We're number 1. I was watching a Twitch fail video on YouTube and saw a hoop break. Yeah, that was this hoop. I'm so afraid I'm going to do it again before the talent show. Thank you, Henchman47. Is that a tattoo on my neck? No. Well, I was really happy with my skill level after 1 year, but I've been doing it for 4 years now. Thank you. Thank you, Chet. Huh? Oh, okay. I know, I needed your phone today. Okay. It's so beautiful.
I figured you want to say that because I didn't know if I would say it exactly right.
Yeah.
Plug it in studio, please.
My costume got leaked. It's so pretty. I cannot wait, you guys. I'm in like awe. It's amazing. It's not a bikini. It has the mesh though. Yeah, a strong and pretty green. It's inspired by like a garden theme. I can't imagine you in this. That's alright. I've got a much stronger imagination. Aw, okay, thank you. Yeah, need wings. Mm-hmm. I don't know who Tessa Violet is. No, never heard of her. I'm just like the kind of person who looks like a lot of people. How do you keep the bobs from falling out in it? You guys can't see any details. Mika Kitty? I feel like I've heard that name before. Is she a hula hooper? You look like my future ex-girlfriend. How romantic. Tell me more. No, just a vlogger? Okay. Must have seen her somewhere. Okay. We're only gonna do a few more songs. Once the stream hits, like, you know, we're gonna hit 3 hours and 2 minutes, so I gotta head out. So I'll just do some outro songs. I'll check her out, and I'll see if I can see what you're seeing. I'm so tired.
Download black. Another thing I have is a little fascination for girls that use my music to make relations. Take for instance, so persistent, have me doing shit to her so unchristian. In the pissing and strangulation, Mason keep calling me about my application. Cause I dropped it off and thought, knock it off. You can start your own club to block and stalk. Perforated thinking I see shit spastic. Pinned under a microscope into a book of acid. Transform the high to a narcotic logic. Flying with maggots in a cockpit. Money in the bank is the perfect world. New car shotgun is the perfect girl. Eat your pills, don't try to work this world. Have no malfunctions to hurt this girl. You may not really deserve this world to reveal that you really gotta work for this girl. Don't be nervous, girl. Don't be nervous, girl. There's a thin line between love and a bug. And how drunk she gotta be to put it in her butt. Struck 10x7 jeans, I follow deception to the suicide diner to seize my depression. I need a girl to make me crash my Benz up. A whistler with a blade that'll cut all my ends up. I pop in every direction and catch a court case. East Bay, West Nile, South Park, and North Bay. My aunt's smoking, I got it crack. I had a kid to feed and I wrote Agent Orange on a whopper rack. That's why I has it my way like a barking pit. Only know the day by which side of the street I walk my shit. Make it off real quick, I'm aching to bloom. But they don't wanna see me eat how I ate in the womb. Inspired by doom, death, and metal objects. Like a young Zeppelin Vex, reading Marvel comic. Money in the bank is the perfect world. New car shotgun is the perfect girl. Eat your pills, don't try to work this world. Have no malfunctions to hurt this girl. You may not really deserve this world to reveal that you really gotta work for this girl. Don't be nervous, girl. Don't be nervous, girl. Don't be nervous, girl. Don't be nervous, girl. I take a look around, soak up my environment. Bring it out into the mic and pay rent. Click code and VIPs to Jesus. When the birds pressed up on the glass like gray goose. Science fiction with two in-depth raps. By tsunamis with two left tracks. Semicolon, my brain geeked out and swollen. No glass, just gonna rap the road rolling. And these last days before I drop, bleed a red. I'ma serve till they kill me like Scott Peterson. I spit ugly, so many rappers love me. They brush me in shows trying to kiss and hug me. It's truth or dare, but y'all keep picking truth. Cause they know I'm New York. Let's spill beer on the board. Find me later while I conspire this Illuminati paper. Money in the bank, it's the perfect world. New car shotgun, it's the perfect girl. Eat your pills, I'm trying to work this world. Have no malfunctions to hurt this girl. Man, may not really deserve this world to prevail that you really gotta work this girl. Don't be nervous, girl. Don't be nervous, girl. Don't be nervous, girl. Don't be nervous, girl.
Happy Polly Lodges.
That song was Perfect
I had
World
something of a
by
pain in the
Kate.
gullet, so I had to sleep. I was not awake, and when I gave
Add a
orders
third
to
hoop.
wake me. Oh, sorry about the pain.
Well, I can. I just don't have
Using
it
the gullet
LED.
too much, like maybe. Giving orders.
And discipline and such. You sure the pain is gone? Yeah, exactly. More explicit rap.
CK1, tell your mom this shit's done. Got a brand new album for a fucked up son. A gonna getting fucked like I give a shit trigger. Go eat that acid off them explicit warning stickers. Licking the CD, ask if your mom to buy it. While I'm gagging honey in the higher with my dick to keep her quiet. Room service. Fuck that, assume nervous. Break this bitch ass off for broom's purpose. In and out, throw a fist in the route. This bitch is waste management, cause I'm pissing them out. Max made in Guinness for 45 minutes. Then I'm breaking my foot off her ass for the finish. Look dingy and Fendi, but trendy. Millennium Ted Bundy, looking all friendly at Wendy's. Cause it's time to eat, and I'll fuck you up. I ain't them rhyming geeks.
We want pussy, money, get them ready for war. Already on tour, still I'm getting head from your whore. Bring the fun on, don't be the one we put a gun on. Promoters that don't give me my dope is getting swung on. Pussy, money, get them ready for war. Already on tour, but still I'm getting head from your whore. Bring the fun on, don't be the one we put a gun on. Promoters that don't give me our dope is getting
I
swung
can't
on.
help that your wife likes sex and the violence. Got knives to her head while I paint islands. Then cut my ear off, smoke in the dead ear off, and had that bitch get lost off. Then we laugh about it at whatever club's popping, and blow this shit up with all the holes and thug blocking. Making a point to them, breaking the joint, spending clip on cold members outside waiting to join. I'm getting this money, I don't care how it look. If I pick up both arms, you watching a coward cook. Riddle with legs, D-cup, nipple, tickle the egg. 12th floor, watch a cop stitching their head. Sipping Grey Goose with a tray deuce on his kidnap, running his dough, and I'm like, lay loose. Don't have your moms be like, that's my boy. Then signing papers to have your corpse destroyed.
We want pussy, money, get them ready for war. Already on tour, still I'm getting head from your whore. Bring the fun on, and don't be the one we put a gun on. Promoters that don't give me our dope is getting swung on. Pussy, money, get them ready for war. Already on tour, but still I'm getting head from your whore. Bring the fun on, and don't be the one we put a gun on. Promoters that don't give me our dope is getting swung on.
I got rocks to fling, the glocks to ping. Fucked around, I got caves doing obnoxious things now. 4 a.m. where your kids at? Larry Clark's crib with copyright next to where the PTA live. Went to see Bully, not for my 2 songs, maybe off. Cameo of Bijou Phillips, lady up. This time around crazy, I'm slicing shook rookies. Used a pistol whip, till Shady made it look pussy. Trying to dissect words I write. Only found a napkin in a diner for the verse I wrote last night. So don't pick up breadcrumbs like this old bitch sitting shoddy in the all-I-S gun. You get the point like your bitch do. I punch through the planet like when PCP hits you. Watch me shake up these little prima donnas, cutting off their backpacks like Mac
We want
Halama.
pussy, money, get them ready for war. Already on tour, but still I'm getting head from your horn. Bring the fun on, and don't be the one we put a gun on. Promoters that don't give me our dope is getting swung on. Pussy, money, get them ready for war. Already on tour, but still I'm getting head from your horn. Bring the fun on, and don't be the one we put a gun on. Promoters that don't give me our dope is getting swung on.
Cage wins.
Test, test.
You wanna kill me, nigga?
All the way live, we bring to you to host the annual drowning in Lake Michigan.
Rick and Morty sucks. Every man within him has an image of utopia that he tries to construct and fails. I just made that up. No quotes. Okay. I'm gonna do one more song, and then I'm gonna pass out. I want rings, those to play with? Yeah. I got you. I'll try to do more tricks. I'm very tired. Bugging like an insect laying larvae in your ear. and the people who cheer. And I'm sorry I wasn't looking at the chat very much today. That's not what I want. I'm glad you found my stream today too, Nanaside. Awesome. Sing K-Flay and Imagine Dragons. I'm so jealous, dude. I'm gonna be listening to K-Flay tonight. Should dance to her too. Yeah, some days are slower than others, you know? Some days I don't make any money. Except in subs. So there's that. It's okay though. It's a grind, you know? Kit Boga. I would like to see her stream again. Okay guys, this host is gonna be awesome. He's usually trolling some fake IT people, scammers, scamming the scammers. That's how it is. True justice. Okay. Thank you guys. It's too late to give me money now. Bye.